It's an emergency. God says very good news is coming for you. If you ignore this blessing, you may regret missing what God prepared for you. Open this message quickly, before it's too late. Don't miss the blessing that's about to reach you. You are in a moment that calls for vigilance, because what I want to place within your heart today is not an ordinary reminder. Set aside the noise that is pulling your mind in many directions, and do not hurry past this, simply because you have grown accustomed to carrying everything alone. I am calling you to stop, not to plant fear within you, but to protect you from an unwise decision and prepare you to receive good news that has drawn very near. There are times when I speak with gentleness, but there are also times when my love must become strong enough to awaken you before you miss something important. This is such a moment. You need to listen calmly, because behind this warning is a door of deliverance and an answer to what you have silently waited for through many days and months. I know you have grown weary of hoping and then being disappointed, of waiting and seeing everything appear to remain unchanged. There were nights when you kept silent before everyone else, while carrying countless questions within. You wondered whether your prayers could pass through the darkness, and whether anyone had seen the tears you concealed. I tell you that not one of your sighs has been treated as insignificant. I saw every time you tried to rise when no one remained to encourage you. I knew the moments when you smiled to reassure others while you were the one in need of support. I also know how often you wanted to give up, yet something deep within you still believed that your life could not remain trapped beneath heaviness forever. That small measure of faith carried you through days that once seemed impossible to survive. And today I have come to strengthen it. Do not think that your stopping before these words is merely a coincidence. I have used many ordinary things to lead you toward a meaningful encounter. You may not recognize the way I work, because I do not always act through dramatic signs. Sometimes I arrange a quiet pause in the middle of a busy day and suddenly awaken within you the desire to listen. Sometimes I allow a sentence to touch the very wound you have hidden, not to deepen your pain, but to let you know that the time for healing has come. You are standing before an important transition, and what I require from you is not the ability to see the entire road. I only ask that you not close your heart, because former disappointments have wounded you. A new door cannot carry you far, while you continue facing the place that has already closed. The warning I give you today is clear. Do not allow haste, fear, or the voices of others to lead you into a choice that causes you to lose your peace. In the coming days, certain things may appear very attractive, but not every opportunity is suited to the journey I am preparing for you. Someone may pressure you to decide quickly. Circumstances may make you believe that unless you seize something immediately, no other opportunity will ever come. But my beloved child, what truly belongs to you will not require you to betray the goodness and integrity within yourself. Examine promises that seem too easy, relationships that appear only when you possess something they need, and choices that require you to exchange uprightness for immediate benefit. I am keeping you from a road that appears convenient, but would later make your heart unbearably heavy. This warning is not intended to make you suspicious of everything, but to teach you how to distinguish what brings clarity from what creates confusion. Along with this warning, I also bring you good news. A burden you have carried for far too long is beginning to lose its authority over your life. What once made you feel trapped will not be able to hold you forever. I am rearranging the parts you cannot reach by yourself. Certain conversations will bring truth into the light. Certain delays will end when the right person, the right time, and the right circumstances come together. Some answers will not arrive in the form you imagined, yet they will lead you toward an outcome better than the one you requested. You may not witness the complete transformation in a single moment, but its first signs have already begun to appear. It may come as unexpected peace, a new idea, an invitation, an offer of help, or the strength to end what has been wearing you down. Do not despise small beginnings, because many great transformations are born in silence before becoming visible. I do not want you to continue living as though you are merely trying to survive one day at a time. I want you to understand that you still have a future worth moving toward. Difficult years do not define your worth, and what others once said cannot determine who you will become. Through waiting, you learned patience. Through suffering, you learned compassion. Through seasons when no one walked beside you, you learned how to stand. None of this has been wasted. I will use those very experiences to mature you, teach you to value what is good when it comes, and give you enough wisdom not to lose it through impulsive reactions. You are not entering the next season with empty hands. You carry understanding, endurance, and a heart refined through many trials. Nevertheless, you must cooperate with what I am doing. Stop repeating negative declarations over yourself. Do not continue saying that you always fail, that you are always left behind, or that you are unworthy of receiving anything good. Such words are like doors. You lock from the inside. I am opening a path, but you must also rise and walk complete what you have delayed. Bring order to your life with seriousness. Apologize when you know you have wounded someone, and establish boundaries with those who repeatedly take your kindness for granted. Care for your health, your work, your family, and the small responsibilities before you, because blessing is not only something you receive, it is also something you must become mature enough to preserve. I am not leading you out of an old cycle, only for you to carry the same habits into a new place. Do not panic when certain things leave your life during this process. Not every loss is failure. Some things must end so that you no longer pour your energy, time, and trust into places that produce no good fruit. Some relationships will gradually become distant, not because you have become cold, but because you have learned that love does not mean allowing others to wound you continually. Some plans you once held tightly will need to change because they were formed by an earlier version of you who was still ruled by fear and unaware of your own worth. Do not continue weeping before a door that has closed. Look around, because I am leading you toward a broader path where you do not have to diminish yourself in order to be accepted. Keep your heart quiet in the days ahead. Do not immediately tell everyone about every plan. Some seeds need protection from doubtful voices until they become strong enough to rise. Work quietly, pray sincerely, and observe the signs of renewal. When uneasiness appears, do not instantly assume that something terrible is coming. Sometimes discomfort simply means that you no longer belong in the old place. Learn to distinguish the prompting that leads you into maturity from the fear that tries to pull you back into a familiar cycle. What I lead you toward will make you increasingly clear-minded, upright, and peaceful, even if the first step requires courage. What does not belong to you will force you continually to persuade yourself, hide the truth, or sacrifice your dignity in order to preserve it. I am speaking to you through the love of a father who does not want you to miss the appointed time of restoration. You have cried long enough over things that cannot be changed. You have carried responsibilities that were never yours for long enough. Now entrust to me what you cannot control, and remain faithful to what has been placed before you. Good news is drawing near, but you need to receive it with an alert heart rather than through desperation. Change began the moment you chose to listen instead of running away, to trust instead of condemning yourself, and to continue instead of living forever inside. What has already passed, my beloved child, lift your head. Your days will not contain only tears. A gentler season is opening, and I will teach you step by step how to enter it with wisdom, gratitude, and steadfast faith. You have never been forgotten, because even during the days when you believed you were walking alone through darkness, I was quietly beside you, holding together every part of your heart that was beginning to fracture. There were moments when you looked around and saw no hand reaching toward you, heard no words strong enough to sustain you, and believed that the whole world had turned away. But my beloved child, the silence around you has never meant that I was absent. I was there when you swallowed your tears, so no one would see how tired you had become. I heard the sighs you could not put into words. I knew every question hidden behind your ordinary smile. Not one of your sorrows has escaped my sight, and not one sincere prayer has fallen into an empty place. My call for you to stop today is not intended to confuse you, but to draw you out of the place where you have endured for too long. You have lived within circumstances that made your heart feel confined by invisible walls. You wanted to move forward, but did not know where to begin. You wanted to rest, yet anxiety continued following you. You tried to appear strong while your inner strength was almost exhausted. I saw it all, I know. You have grown tired of explaining yourself, tired of waiting for something good, and tired of facing another disappointment. Each time you allow yourself to hope. Therefore, I do not come to blame you for becoming weak. I come to restore steadiness within you and remind you that your present condition is not the final sentence over your life. A new source of strength is being brought to you quietly, yet powerfully enough to change the way you walk through the days ahead. You will notice that former circumstances no longer pull you downward as easily as they once did. What used to keep you awake will gradually lose control. Heavy thoughts that once covered your mind will begin to give way to clarity. I am bringing people who know how to support, rather than exploit you, opportunities that produce growth, rather than exhaustion, and decisions that return you to the peace you have not felt for a long time. What I am doing may begin through small changes, but do not dismiss them. A timely word of encouragement, an ordinary meeting, a sudden idea, or a door opening slightly may become the beginning of great renewal. Not every path you believed had closed is locked forever. Some doors I closed to keep you from entering places that were not meant for you, while other doors I simply left unopened until you became mature enough to walk through without losing yourself. Now what truly belongs to your journey will begin to fall into order. Someone who once became distant may recognize the value they overlooked. A relationship that appeared beyond repair may receive an opportunity for healing through honesty and humility. Yet remember that restoration does not always mean returning everything to its former condition. Sometimes I heal you by reconnecting what is good. At other times, I heal you by giving you enough courage to release what has wounded you for too long. The battle you are facing is not the end of your story, but the place where precious qualities have been formed within you. There you learn to stand, even when no one acknowledged you, to remain kind after being treated unfairly, and to continue walking before results were visible. Your tears do not make you weak. They reveal that you fought with all the goodness you possessed. Yet I do not want you to remain forever in a season of mourning. I am leading you toward a joy that is not entirely dependent upon circumstances, and toward a relief that does not vanish the moment difficulty returns. This joy will begin within you, when you understand that your worth is no longer determined by the opinions of others, and that your future is not ruled by former failures. Do not look at your present numbers and conclude that your life can never change. Do not allow current lack to convince you that I cannot open a new road. I do not measure your future by the amount of money you possess, the title you hold, or what others believe you deserve. I see something deeper than all of these things. I see your faithfulness during days no one knew about. I see the kindness you continued to preserve, even while you lacked much yourself. I see the moments when you chose not to retaliate or wound others, despite having reasons to be angry. These quiet things are constructing a foundation that human eyes cannot yet recognize. I do not need anyone's approval to lead you toward what I have prepared. Those who once underestimated you cannot stop the goodness approaching your life. Your past may contain wrong choices, missed opportunities, and days when you no longer recognized yourself, but it has no authority to condemn your future. I can use the very place where you stumbled to teach you how to walk more wisely. I can transform what once caused shame into compassion that helps you support others. I can entrust you with things beyond your ability to obtain by yourself, not to make you proud, but to teach you that grace is not always a reward for perfection. Often, it is a gift received by those who have learned to open their hearts, live gratefully, and act responsibly. The restoration I bring will touch many areas of your life where your body has grown weary from prolonged stress. I will teach you to rest, care for yourself, and listen to your limitations. Where your mind has repeatedly been covered by anxiety, I will lead you back toward clear and steady thoughts. Where distance has formed within your family, I will open the way for understanding, but you must also choose words that heal instead of deepening wounds. Where relationships have become dry, I will show you which ones deserve cultivation and which require renewed boundaries. Where provision is lacking, I will give you wisdom to manage, perseverance to work, and discernment to recognize genuine opportunities. Fear has repeatedly tried to convince you that you will fail again. Old memories have made you hesitate before every new beginning, but my voice does not condemn you through your past. I call you by the name of renewal. I tell you that you can learn to trust again, rise after devastation, and enter a new chapter without carrying every chain from yesterday. When I speak, the lies that once bound you begin to lose their strength. When you agree with the good truth I place within your heart, you will no longer live like someone always waiting for disaster. You will learn to receive peace without suspicion, accept love without fearing that it will be taken away, and move forward without needing to know every detail beforehand. You once asked whether I was still listening. You believed your prayers were too weak, too fragmented, or too late to be received. But I tell you that no word spoken sincerely becomes meaningless before me. Some answers have not come because you still need preparation. Some things were delayed because I was protecting you from receiving them too soon. Some doors have not opened because the person you need to meet is still being guided, the necessary circumstances are still being arranged, and you are still learning how to preserve what you have requested. Waiting is not proof that you have been rejected. Often, it is the time in which I make you steady enough not to lose the blessing immediately after receiving it. Now open your heart to change, but do not chase everything simply because you are eager to escape your present situation. Walk calmly. Allow me to teach you how to recognize what brings light and what merely creates temporary glitter. Courageously complete your small responsibilities, because faithfulness in ordinary matters prepares you for greater things. Stop speaking about yourself through words of despair. Rise, bring order to your life, care for what I have placed in your hands, and believe that my work does not need to be loud in order to be powerful. A deep transformation is beginning, and this time you will not walk through it alone. I remain here closer than you feel and more patient than you understand. I never turned away when you were weak, nor did I leave when you doubted. I held you through the days when you believed you could endure no more, so that today you could hear these words. Hope still remains, a road still lies ahead, and good things are still being formed. Lift your head, my beloved child. The season of exhaustion will not last forever. A new wind is moving through your life, carrying strength, clarity, and pure beginnings. I am acting not to overwhelm you, but to lead you gradually out of what is old and into a life that is steadier, freer, and filled with greater peace. Do not take this moment lightly, because I am using your decision to stop as the opening of a season of understanding you have awaited for a long time. The things that confused you will not remain hidden forever, and the questions that repeatedly burdened your heart will gradually receive answers. I did not bring you here merely to hear a few comforting words and then return to the same old cycle. I am touching the deepest places within you, where disappointment, doubt, and pain, too difficult to name, have accumulated. I want you to know that your journey has not been meaningless. Every season in which you were slowed down, and every time you had to remain still, when you wanted to move forward, has helped lead you toward the appointed time that you are beginning to see today. You once resented delays because you believed they had stolen your opportunities, but you will come to understand that some unopened doors were protection. Had you entered too soon, you might have carried an unprepared heart, unhealed impatience, and old habits, capable of destroying the new goodness you had just received. I did not hold you back in order to disappoint you. I held you back to correct your steps, strengthen your mind, and help you recognize the true value of what you were about to receive. Sometimes my protection wears the appearance of rejection. Sometimes my mercy appears as a period of silence. Your inability to understand immediately does not mean that I stopped working. The things that left your life did not create meaningless emptiness. Some relationships ended so that you could learn to respect yourself. Some plans collapsed so that you would stop building your future upon an unstable foundation. Some dreams had to be reshaped because they were formed from fear, the hunger for approval, or the desire to prove yourself to those who once looked down upon you. I am not taking goodness from your hands. I am clearing away what cannot accompany you into the new season. The emptiness you feared will become the place where I establish wisdom, healthy relationships, and opportunities that carry peace rather than chaos. The brokenness that once made you believe you were being punished will reveal things that false stability kept hidden. While everything looked intact on the outside, You repeatedly ignored the warning signs within. You accepted too little because you believed you were unworthy of something better. You held on to people who did not value you because you were afraid to begin again. You endured circumstances that drained you because you did not believe another road could appear. Therefore, I allowed those outer coverings to break, not to destroy you, but to free you from a life smaller than what I had prepared. I saw the moments when you nearly stopped. You stood at the edge of giving up, believing that one more effort would make no difference. Yet you still rose, completed what was required of you, and preserved a little hope, even when it seemed as fragile as a light in a long night. That perseverance brought you here. You do not need to take pride in never having been weak. Be grateful that, even in weakness, you never turned completely away from what was good. I have not forgotten that quiet faithfulness. I have not overlooked the times you chose kindness, when no one responded or continued, sowing goodness without seeing results. Now, I am not merely returning what was depleted. I am enlarging you so that you can receive more without being controlled by what you receive. True restoration is not simply recovering a position, a source of provision, or a relationship that was lost. The restoration I give first returns you to yourself in peace, dignity, and clarity. When order is restored within you, what comes afterward will not be so easily lost. You will know which opportunities deserve pursuit, which invitations must be refused, which relationships need cultivation, and which doors should be closed without guilt. An invisible inheritance has been formed within you through difficult years. It is the ability to stand when circumstances change, compassion for those who suffer, patience with what remains unfinished, and wisdom that listens before acting. These things are more precious than temporary accomplishments, because they will accompany you wherever I lead. You will not receive blessing only to satisfy your own needs. You will become someone able to support, guide, and bring hope to others. What you endured will no longer exist merely as sorrowful memories. It will become understanding that helps you speak the right words to those now standing where you once stood. Pay attention to the small movements beginning around you. I do not always announce change through dramatic events. Sometimes confirmation comes as peace, when you stand before the right decision. Sometimes it comes through a passing statement that touches exactly what you prayed about. At other times, an opportunity appears after a long silence, or someone returns with a more sincere attitude. Yet do not turn every detail into a sign and become anxious in your search. What comes from me does not make you chaotic, dependent, or obsessed. It brings clarity, encourages upright living, and makes your heart steadier. Observe with alertness while preserving a peaceful mind. I do not deliver you only to leave you living in fear of losing what has been given. I want to build a life with a foundation where peace does not disappear simply because a difficult day arrives. You will no longer need to chase emotional highs continually in order to believe that I am near. I want you to recognize my presence during ordinary mornings, unfinished work, simple meals, and quiet moments when no visible miracle occurs. I do not come only during a crisis. I want to walk with you through every decision, teaching you how to live with discipline, love, while maintaining boundaries, and rest without guilt. You are a place where I desire to establish my peace, truth, and kindness. Therefore, care for your inner life as something precious. Do not allow every voice to enter. Do not take every judgment spoken by others and turn it into the way you see yourself. Choose what you listen to, what you meditate upon, and whom you allow to influence your decisions. True transformation does not happen only around you. It begins in the way you speak to yourself, the way you respond when misunderstood, and the way you preserve purity of heart when tempted to answer pain with more pain. Something is awakening within you, the desire to live according to the best things I placed within you from the beginning. You are becoming dissatisfied with shallow relationships, dishonest choices, and a life centered only on pleasing others. You feel that something must change, although you cannot yet name it clearly. Do not fear that feeling. It is a sign that you no longer fit within former limitations. I am expanding your vision and helping you understand that you are permitted to live a life of purpose, order and freedom from the restraints that have held you for too long. During this transition, you will not be abandoned along the road. I know there will be days when your faith feels strong and other days when you question everything. Do not condemn yourself for those fluctuations. Return to stillness. Remember what I have already helped you overcome and continue walking by the light you presently possess. You do not need to understand the whole journey before moving forward. Remain faithful to the next step, and the road will gradually become clear. I do not change according to your emotions, leave when you are confused, or withdraw my love when you stumble. Therefore, my beloved child, receive this season of clarity with a humble heart. Do not rush to display what is forming before it becomes stable. Do not allow impatience to make you run faster than your maturity. Let me complete what I have begun, both in your circumstances and within you. Then you will look back and understand that many things that made you weep quietly led you toward a better life. What seemed like an ending became a turning point. What seemed like loss created room for abundance. What seemed like silence was actually the time in which I prepared the answer. I have been faithful to you from the beginning, and I will continue leading you until every shadowed place is illuminated by peace. I am preparing you for greater things, but I am not preparing only your circumstances. I am preparing you. If I gave you a new opportunity while you still carried old fears, you would diminish yourself in the very place where I intended you to grow. If I led you into a healthy relationship while you still viewed everyone through former wounds, you would not know how to receive genuine love. If I opened a path of provision before you had learned to manage wisely, what came quickly could also disappear quickly. Therefore, I have used this past season to reshape the way you think, face responsibility, and protect what is precious. This preparation may be slower than you desire, but it will create a lasting place where the coming blessing can remain. Do not enter the next season with the desire to prove yourself to anyone. What I am preparing is not meant to make those who once underestimated you regret their judgment. It is being given so that you may live according to your purpose, become more peaceful and compassionate, and help those who need hope. When the new door opens, enter with gratitude instead of pride. When you receive support, remember the days when you needed a hand. When you are given a voice, use it to heal rather than wound. When you possess more, remember those who still have little. I am not making you strong so that you may stand above others, but so that you may bend down and lift someone who has fallen without being pulled back into the darkness from which you escaped. There will still be days when you remember former pain, but those memories will no longer have authority over you. They will simply remind you how far you have come. The marks left behind will no longer be signs of failure. They will be evidence that you were preserved through what once appeared impossible. When you look back, you will not see only what you lost. You will recognize destructive habits that were cut away, dependencies that ended, boundaries that were established, and a maturity no one can take from you. You will understand that I wasted none of your tears. I used even the most painful things to deepen your compassion, purify your motives, and help you recognize the voice that leads toward peace. Therefore, lift your head and continue without carrying the posture of someone who has been defeated. You are no longer standing where the storm began. You are no longer the person who entered the fire carrying so much fear. You have been refined, strengthened, and taught how to distinguish what deserves a place within your heart. What I place ahead will require courage, but you already possess what you need for the next step. You do not have to understand everything before beginning. Remain faithful to the small responsibility before you. Keep your heart pure, speak words that bring life, and do not return to the limitations I have already helped you overcome.